What's up, guys? It's Mike for SimRacing 604, and this is the Falke Erlkönig. I'm positive I'm pronouncing that wrong, so my apologies. This is a free mod for Assetto Corsa on PC and comes to us courtesy of a team called Project New Normal. It's a small team, but they've got real-world experience going as far as race engineering for Le Mans prototypes, and they bring a rare perspective and interesting vision to sim racing modding. To get the mod, you'll just need to join their Discord, and you can find a direct download link there. The Falke is designed to break the mold of sim racing cars. In the words of Project NN, quote, "Most race simulations target to replicate real race cars as accurately as possible. This has two major drawbacks. First, the real race cars are not focused on being as rewarding as possible for the driver. Rather, they follow commercial, safety, and/or environmental considerations. And second, real race cars are unnecessarily hard to drive in race simulations because their vehicle dynamics design does not account for the missing physical feedback in race simulations. The Falke Erlkönig is an early prototype virtual race car engineered for putting the driver in focus and to deliver an always rewarding racing experience," end quote. So what does that actually mean when you drive this car in Assetto Corsa? Well, an interesting concept actually. I'll get it out on track shortly for a demo, but first let me tell you a bit more about the vehicle. The car is of course fictional, modeling a rear-wheel drive car powered by a straight-six engine mated to a 6-speed sequential transmission. Power is rated at 344 horsepower and 352 newton-meters of torque. The total weight, including the driver, is 1,055 kilograms, and it's fitted with ABS and traction control systems. And an important fact about this car is that it's designed with an aero fit-out that produces no downforce. This was intended to aid in producing close racing. You can read the full vehicle description, including a lot of interesting notes on the design concept at the PNN website linked in the description. And it's important to note that this mod is far from finished. You can see the secretive prototype paint scheme used here. There's 3 variants of that, but no proper liveries. Also, wheel and shifter hand animations are broken, and the interior is not what I'd call polished, but the focus here is the drive. My first impression was that this was just a car with a lot of mechanical grip, but it's really not. I'd describe it as well balanced, but you can actually break rear traction somewhat easily, and that's where this car does its best work. There's a familiar pattern with many race cars in Assetto Corsa where you go past the limits of grip with the rear tires. As soon as you feel the rear of the car moving, it's game over. It's next to impossible to recover, but not with the Falke. You certainly can spin it, but losing traction control under most circumstances, like stomping on the gas during track out or hopping a curb aggressively through a chicane, becomes fun instead of frustrating. That might not sound revolutionary, but trust me when I say that it warrants a test drive. In fact, I'd love to read comments from viewers with any real-world motorsport experience who have tried this car. I'll do my best to explain what I'm feeling while driving the car during the demo, but this certainly warrants feedback from somebody with real racing experience. But for now, let's test things out. Okay guys, so here we are on board the Falke Mugello circuit. So you can see very basic interior here. The focus is really the drive with this machine. So we won't really get to demonstrate exactly what makes this special until we have a little bit of heat in the tires. But what you're looking for basically is my ability to keep this thing on track in spite of what is happening to the car. Because as I explained in the introduction, it really comes down to, or at least my experience is, what happens when the rear breaks traction. So you can push this thing really hard, and instead of just spinning uncontrollably and producing a slide that you can't catch, the Falke tends to really give you a chance to correct. And that to me is sort of the manifestation of the vision of Project NN, i.e. you can't feel what the car is doing in actuality because you're seated in a static rig. So the car will behave in a fashion that gives you a chance to sort of compensate for that. That was a minor example, but you really have to push, and again, we'll need some heat in the tires before that really comes to fruition. Saw a little bit of it there. Alright, let's try pushing here. I think it's a bit early. Probably about lap 3 we'll really start to sort of settle into a groove. But we'll see what happens here. So 350 odd horsepower. Whoops. Lost too much speed there. 350 odd horsepower in this thing. 1,000 kilograms. There you see a little kiss in the grass, but very little struggle with the car. Definitely had an effect. You saw the rear end kick out there, so you're starting to see it come into play here. Not sure why I took third gear there, but that's okay. Whoops. So a little tap on the brakes there. Not sure if you guys saw that, but there's a little tap on the brakes there, and the car just kind of got back in line, and that's really the best of this car. It really is. So whereas many other, not all, certainly not all, but many other race cars in Assetto Corsa, once it starts to go around, it's just kind of gone. There's no recovering it. There. See? That is something that is not always common in Assetto Corsa mods. So it kind of plays out as, well, that's just a drift car, but in fact it's not. It's not that the car just automatically breaks traction and then you fight it with counter steer and then cool things happen that you know, produce true drifts. It's not that. It's still a race car. It's still very much a race car. It's the speed at which it gets back to traction. That is sort of the I guess you could say crux of it. There you go. So you didn't just slide. Back end kicks out. Yeah, this is very nice. It's a nice drive. I spent a lot of time with it because I wanted to sort of find the right words, and I don't know that I have, to be honest, about how this drives. And again, like I said in the intro, it's not that this is a super grippy car. They didn't just give it heaps of grip, because you can still do that, right? So it's not like it can't be lost. It's that within reason, the car is still grippy. Excuse me. So it's kind of occupying a rare space. Again, it's not drift, but at the same time, it's not just a grippy car. It's somewhere in a cool sort of median space. But I really want to hear from people who have real motorsport experience and can test this out. So I think it's nicely done. and it allows you to hold lines better too. I find I drive in a much more smooth fashion. Some of you are probably thinking, this is what you consider smooth? But yeah, for me this is smooth. Whoops. Yeah, so much for smooth. Alright, we'll do this lap plus one more. But really, I encourage all you guys to try this. It is free. You just need to join the Project NN Discord. Then you get to try out this car. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. It's a small team, Project NN. Near as I can tell, is just 3 people, but some pretty cool motorsport experience. Alright, final lap. So we're down in the 156s. Let's see if we can do something with that added vehicle ability. See if we can beat our personal best here. And I like the ability to push without feeling like you're going to be punished for doing so. This right here is where downforce would be nice, but again, this is neutral. No downforce, intended to produce better racing, and the result is that you have to take it a little bit easier through the corners, through high-speed corners, that is. Whoops. Not sure if you can hear that, but the tires are squealing, so again, not that super overly grippy car. It should be on pace for a personal best here. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Well done to Project NN. And again, I really want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think of this car. Join their Discord. The download is free. And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.